Okay, so we're not in our studio.
Nope.
We are in
We're in
Alex's studio, his Board Game Co. studio, and Alex is hanging out. We're actually hanging out here. Yes. You're not hanging out with us. We're hanging out with you.
I mean, arguably not necessarily by choice, but I am hanging out with you by default.
Well, it's okay, right?
Yeah, oh, no, it's fun. It's fun. It's like, you know, he's just got to knock my door. I was like, I had plans
technically,
today,
if we are hanging out with him,
he's hanging out with us.
By extension.
Yeah, we came up here to Origins, and Alex is up the street. Well, 2 hours up the street.
It's still up the street.
So we came all the way up here before we went to Origins to hang out, and we did our favorite, or not favorite, but our games that we want to play.
Yeah, looking forward to play this summer.
10 plus games, and that'll be on his channel. And then he has picked out some games that he wants to play this summer, either with his kids or alone.
I forgot a game.
Oh, no.
Now there's going to be 13 games.
Do you need to go get it?
No. I can do it.
Okay.
But there's going to be a 13th game, because I was just thinking through the games. So you said...
It's so hard, because his whole collection is right here. We were able to put our game together, or our list together, without our game staring at us, being like, pick me.
The one I forgot is blocked by a stack of games. I know exactly what it is.
So it's not even an excuse.
Yes.
You just remember it being
I just remember. So you said summer games, and I was like, oh, summer games. And I started going towards a certain direction, and once you explained it, I pivoted away from that direction, but I already had some games locked in at that point.
Okay.
And some games just made sense to me. So again, going through 10 games or 13 games now, 10 games that I want to play this summer. Things I'm looking forward to diving into. Just for a variety of reasons. Anything from games I like that I want to play more often, anything from new games I really heavily want to dive into, anything from a game on your list that I now want to play that made its way over my list. I started with 10, I added an 11th as a caveat, then I added a 12th from your list, and a 13th that I forgot about. So let's go with the 3
because we did ours first, so
I'm
we
catching
probably
up
would have been adding if you went first.
Yeah, you had 15, I'm catching up. So my number 11, which I'm doing this out of order, I'm going to do 11, 12, and 13, then 10 through 9, or whatever. 11, to me, is Gloomhaven. And Gloomhaven's number 11 because I already started the process. I already started diving into
base Gloomhaven?
Base
like
Gloomhaven.
Original? Okay.
Base. Okay. My journey with Gloomhaven was I dove into base Gloomhaven 3 years ago when it first came out, or not when it first came out, a year after it came out. I was like, people talking about it, people were hyped, and I was like, great, I want to try this thing out. I like dungeon crawlers, I like powers and abilities, let me try it. Played 3 scenarios, loved it, and put it on the shelf. I was like, I'll get to it when I have time. Fast forward 3 years, and I have not played it.
That's how Jaws of the Lion was with us. We took that on our anniversary trip last year
in January.
And did the first 5 things with Rodney's little walkthrough.
And this is great.
We were like, we're gonna do one of these a week. Like, this is just gonna be a tradition.
Easy peas.
Yep.
Did we do 3?
No, we didn't do any when we came back.
No, when we came back, but when we were we did.
No, I think we did all 5. We got through all 5 of the tutorials. And
so
then,
I got Jaws of the Lion when it came out, same exact plan. I was like, boom, Jaws of the Lion is going to be my pathway in. Fast forward a year, still have not played it. But I finally did start playing Jaws of the Lion, and started getting, I got 7 missions deep or something like that. I'm going through it with a friend, we're having fun with it. But then I started playing Gloomhaven. I'm streaming Gloomhaven on Twitch with Press and Meg, and we're doing that every Tuesday. And so I'm heavily looking forward to diving into it. We've started going through it, and it's going to happen.
Online then?
Online.
Okay, because I was like, where are you doing this? Because she's not
playing
here.
On Steam. So they have an excellent.
So you're able to save your play.
It's one of the best board game adaptations I've ever seen. Easily, it's incredible. It's beautiful. It's immersive. It's I see no reason.
So you'd rather play that than have it on the table?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
It's incredible.
Is that the same with Root?
Root, I do not like the online application.
Okay.
A lot of people do. I don't.
I've not played the online, but I've heard that it's amazing.
I generally like physical over online. Almost always. Gloomhaven is one of the few times where I think I don't.
Is it just because of the amount of stuff the online takes care of for you?
Yes, but also it's really, really good. It's both. It's a combination of all those.
Maybe we should try that.
And I feel like I need to just make the excuse that I'm in the middle now, and I have to look back and forth between both of you.
You see, that's how it feels.
But there's so many games here that I haven't played that every time my eyes travel, I feel like they stop, and I keep finding myself just staring off into nowhere. So if you notice me staring off into nowhere, it's just because I'm looking at a game.
So they just added Jaws of the Lion to the online. They just added that.
Okay.
I'm playing that with my friends, so I'm not doing that. But Gloomhaven, looking forward to diving into it, continue to diving into it, to finally actually finishing this game. Because I've given Gloomhaven a lot of garbage over the years because of the fact that I'm like, I just don't play you. I want to play you. You're too much of a commitment. It's too hard. But I think with the online implementation, I'm finally getting it tabled.
All right.
We'll Meg loves it.
Yeah. She's not very good at it though. She keeps
wait,
murdering us. She keeps murdering us.
That sounds like me. We played what was the Core Quest. And the boys are just like, Mom, we can't play it with you because you keep killing.
You're like, open a new tile, new tile.
She kept going like, there's monsters over here that are gonna
stop exploring.
Yes,
you're like my 6-year-old
monsters, and then we can explore.
But I'm like, let's go.
Let's get rid of the stuff.
My other children are all heavily controlled. My 6-year-old son's like, I'm gonna explore. You're like, there's 14 monsters around us, and you're going to die. He finally died. He may or may not have learned something. We'll see.
That's something kids play.
Yeah, that's my number 11. My number 12, the game that I added based on your list, is I want to get my hands on Pick Twister.
Oh!
This
but you don't want that one.
No, I want the Bob Ross one.
Yeah, you want the Bob Ross. I can't talk.
So make sure to get, if you're heading over to my channel, you'll see their full list if you want to get the full list. This is the one that probably most compelled me. Not this is the best game, but like from all the games you said in any way, one of the things for me is some games are just easy to table. And those games, I love easy to table games. I love Gloomhaven. I love Terraforming Mars, Cthulhu May Die, any of these games out there, I love them all. But some games are just easy to pull out on table, and this seems like the kind of puzzle I like. Yep. So I want to get my hands on it. Probably the Bob Ross version.
Everyone gets 9 tiles and an identical set of cards. Like
it's just a puzzle.
It's fun.
It's a puzzle.
Yeah, the boys have a tutorial of this on our channel, so we can link that so you can check it out to see a more detailed version of what the game looks like. But it's if you played those puzzly,
it's an analog of those slider puzzles that you played as a kid,
and you're programming. Yeah,
what's going to be switching around, what's going to be moving, what's going to be rotating. So
it's
I love programming. I love puzzles. It seems like the kind of game I could sit down at the table whenever, solo or with players. That's very compelling to me. I'm interested in.
Yay! I'm so glad.
Yeah. Then my number 13, the one I forgot until this video, is a game called Brew. Have you heard of? No, not Brew.
No, you have for us all.
Not Brew. Brew I have over here. Coffee Traders? No, what's it
called?
Traders?
No,
not
Coffee
Coffee Traders.
Is one.
Coffee. Oh my gosh. Traders. No, The Bean. Something like that. The Bean?
The Bean?
Board Game Bean. Let's find. Let's Google this one up.
Yeah.
It's another coffee game. Board game.
See, we are coffee.
We'll fill time.
We
enjoy coffee.
We love coffee.
We met at a coffee shop.
We did. I was his barista.
It's part of our love story.
I was his barista, and he.
Were you really?
Sees the Bean.
Sees the Bean. Have you seen this
I
one?
have never seen that one.
I will show you the components after. You will fall in love with this without even playing it. Seize the Bean is a coffee-themed game that I started pulling the rulebook out. The rulebooks are literally labeled as, like, coffee menu, and then the expansions are labeled as snack menu or something like that. That's what they all are. And, like, the expansions are all these little modules. The components are delightful. They're adorable. It's a game that plays well with supposedly 2 and 3 players, like, really well. 4 as well, but 2 and 3 is what's going to get tabled for me. I like coffee. It's a 7.7 on Board Game Geek. I got the game. I'm excited to play it. I just want a coffee game that I can finally... Like, I've had a few coffee games over the years, but none of them have really lasted.
What do you think about Coffee Traders?
The Coffee Traders is the heavy one from Capstone, right? I have that one coming, haven't played it yet.
Okay, we haven't played it yet either. I told them, I was like, if you have them, because they didn't have any when they were sending us some games. They didn't have any in stock. I'm like, we love coffee, so, It's
a heavier game, so I wonder, heavier games to me always are vying for very competitive spots.
Yeah. Going back to does it look Euro?
It's very Euro.
Yeah,
very
that's
Euro.
what I thought. It's just, there's so many little chits and stuff, you're like, oh, that's Euro.
Yeah. But for me, like, if I'm playing, going back to the pick twist over there, I can have 30 games in my collection that play in 20 minutes. But a game that's going to play in 2.5 hours with a very heavy set of people, or 3.5 hours, whatever it is, those are more competitive for my time. And so I don't know if Coffee Traders will last just because of that.
What was the playtime on the...
90 minutes.
Okay.
Much more accessible. It's already easier to table. I'm very excited for that. I've had coffee... There's another one, but it's a solo game of bag building. Coffee something else. It's a very good game.
Solo bag building.
Solo bag building coffee game. I think it's a very good game, but I played it like 15 times and then got rid of it. It was good. It was just the puzzle was the same every time, but I liked it a lot. Yeah. And then there was Viva Java. If you've ever seen that one.
Yes, I have seen that one.
I've never played it because it plays best at like 6. I don't play those games at 6.
It's like a party game.
Yeah. So it's Euro adjacent party game. It's just it works well with large crowds.
Anything that's like larger, I consider party game because you need a party of people to play it. So
my point is, if this wasn't clear, is that I'm hunting down all the coffee games. If you have good coffee games that I should know about, let me know because I want to play them. That's my 10, 11, 12, and 13.
Okay.
From there, we start going into the actual list of other games, which I not in any particular order. These are just games I want to table. First of all is Mechs vs. Minions. Have you played this?
Which one?
Mechs versus Minions.
No.
Not even heard of it.
Mechs vs. Minions. It is the giant box above you over there, behind the dragon.
Wow.
Mechs vs. Minions. It's themed from League of Legends.
Is that the one you said was too big to put to the table?
No, there's a few.
Oh no!
Actually, no. That was the main one.
I mean, the box is probably
massive.
about this. Yeah, it's big.
It's big, and I have to like pull things down.
Is it the box and the one on top of it?
No, just the box. It's a giant box. It has like 1 million little miniatures in there. It's from Riot Games. The game is based off League of Legends, which is a PC game.
Okay.
And what it is going back to Pick Twist, which is a bit of programming.
Okay.
This game it's a cooperative programming game where you have these robots and you're trying to accomplish objectives, and there's a bunch of minions trying to attack you. So you're the mechs, they're the minions, and it's all programming, and it's a timer-based thing. So you have a timer, and you're working cooperatively with a card row. You're desperately grabbing cards you can then slot into your board, and then your robots go stomping. And the various things you're grabbing are movement cards, attacking cards, the turning, rotation, lasers. It's just all weapons. And the whole theme is your robots just stomping around the board, destroying minions, slowly powering up as they progressively try to accomplish their objectives without getting hit. If you like any form of robo-rally or programming or mountains versus molehills, any of those types of games.
I was going to ask if you'd played that. Oh, there
yes,
it
is. Mechs vs. Minions is my favorite programming game I've ever played. The cooperative aspect works really well, and it's a game that I played it with Rena like 4 years ago. I think at this point it's probably been 4 years. I started playing with it, got like 4 or 5 games in, and we just stopped. We have a plan. I don't know if it'll happen or not, but we have a plan to reset, start from the beginning. It's like 10 games. The whole thing's 10 games. And it's not legacy, it's campaign. So you can reset and pass it on.
Okay.
Yeah, you can replay it yourself. You can pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah, that's the thing with campaign games. Is it beneficial to play again if there's enough choices that you can make it different?
If you give it, like, it's the kind of game where, like, again, we're going to reset it from start right now because it's been so long. It's the kind of game I don't mind owning and then another 7 years later dive into again. Dive into again. Or teach it to my kids now that they're older and all that. It's a really good, really solid programming experience that's just a ton of fun and a little bit of, like, just dying, which is always fun.
Just die, you know.
That's number one. And I have a few of these campaign games that I'm trying to commit to as we go through these. So that's number one, Mechs vs. Minions. Okay. Number two is going to be, well, this one I have, is Parks.
Oh.
Very good summer
when
game.
When you first said summer game, there were a few that came to mind.
That's the Nightfall expansion.
I have not played with the Nightfall expansion. I want to.
It's the one. That's the one with the tents, right?
It has tents.
Yes, I love the tents.
I played the original Parks and I adored it. I played Trails. I think Trails is good, but I don't see a reason to play it when I have Parks.
I have a question. Yes. What is your favorite player count?
3.
See, we prefer 2.
We played 2, and Trails feels really good at 2.
So Trails worked really well too. But the question I have, just to counter that, is what's the favorite thing to you about Parks?
I don't know. I have not played it enough to have a solid opinion on it.
Why do you like this game?
It's not one of our favorites, but I'll play it. The boys or Jared really likes it. I like the I need to go here and get these things and that type of thing. And also, it's thematic. It's the theme that really catches me.
So for me, it's the blocking, which is why I like it at 3. At 3, to me, Parks is a game all about getting in each other's ways and tactfully.
See, we don't feel like that at 2, so maybe if we played at 3, it would give us that
I think Parks functions well for a variety of reasons. First of all, I like the fact that it can be a gateway-friendly game that you can just dive into it, have fun, get your resources, go around, make your visits, and just try to efficiently get to your Parks.
Right.
But if you want to play this game with a bunch of people who are willing to be cutthroat, because you all have to be willing to be cutthroat, otherwise it's just annoying. Right. But if you're willing to do that, then it's an incredibly tactical, strategic game of getting into those ways, of using your canteens to jump forward, of trying to figure out when to reset, when to be able to move on to someone's spot. It is incredibly cutthroat as you figure out how to block, move, and adjust as you move up and down the tracks. I find it is so intensely strategic. I played it at 2. I played it at 4.
That makes me want to play it more because I've never played it enough to.
I feel that with Trails. So would you rather play Trails or Parks?
Parks, every day of the week. Every day of the week. I find Parks gives me a little bit more to do than Trails. Trails is a little bit more gateway friendly. I'm happy it exists. I like Trails. I enjoyed it. I don't need to play Trails now that I have Parks. Well, I already had Parks. Then I got Trails.
Okay. Yeah, because we liked Trails because of the simplicity of it. It was
a little quicker to the table.
Yeah.
Small box, good to travel. Yeah. It's a good game. It's a very good game.
It's like this big.
It's like half of this box, basically. Like almost a third.
Yeah.
It's really solid. For me, if I didn't already have a roster of travel games, I'd want Trails just to round out my travel games.
Yeah.
But I already have a roster of travel games, so Trails is really good.
I meant to grab it, and it would have been on our travel, but it's on the set of the Play the Game set, and so nice. I keep forgetting that it's actually on the set. I have a few games there that I'm like, I need to not forget about those.
My next one is a game that I've played extensively, but I have not played with the expansions, and like with Parks as well, I haven't played Nightfall. I want to dive into Nightfall, is Spirit Island for me.
We've
never played it. I've had a lot of people request our opinion on it, and haven't.
It would be a great play of the game episode too. It's like I've done this on my Patreon where
it's cooperative.
It's cooperative or solo, and I've done this on my Patreon. I've been doing solo plays, and like I keep giving them options every week. And when Spirit Island was up there, it was like 90% people wanted Spirit Island. There's a heavy demand for the game. and it's such a good game. It is crunchy. It's all about survival. It's all about, you're on an island. You're playing as the spirits, helping the Dahan, the various natives, as the invaders come in and you're trying to scare them away and or just take them down entirely. It's a procedural process of just powers and abilities. The entire thing is you start with a spirit who has their own powers and abilities, and then you augment that spirit by grabbing more cards and building them out and catering to their unique playstyle and figuring out what you want to do. Are you being more defensive, more aggressive? Are you focusing on fear? You're playing either solo or with other players, or double handling two spirits. It is intensely strategic, intensely tactical. It's the game that got me into solo gaming.
Really?
I played solo games before, and I was like, nah, solo game's not for me. And then I played Spirit Island solo at one point. I was like, I like the game a lot. My wife was busy one night. Game night kind of canceled. People weren't playing, whatever it was. And I was like, I had a rule. Every game night, I play games. I didn't care. And so I dove into Spirit Island solo, and I was like, wow, I loved it. And
Interesting.
It's such a good game. I just want to play with the expansions, because everyone tells me the expansion makes it better, and I have not tabled the expansions yet.
It's just, there's so much. Now, Being Friends, I don't know if you're familiar with Being Friends. They're another YouTube channel.
Oh, yeah, they love Western Legends.
Yeah, but they love Spirit Island.
Nice.
Like, they went on this, like, kick of going, they did graphic grids of, like, who they played with, and like, no, I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much with Spirit Island, and it actually I kind of got turned away from it because of all of that.
There's a lot going on. It's not going to be a game for everyone, like all games, but I find it intensely rewarding, intensely variable, and I just want to play it more, because it's one of those games. There's always games in my collection where whenever I play them, I'm like, I should be playing you more, and I should be ignoring all this other stuff. And
every game wants you to have that opinion of it, though.
Yeah. They all want me to have that opinion, but not all of them do. Some of them are just... games are like movies, like books. Like, some books you want to reread forever. Other books are good for a read or two.
There's a few books that I have that I've read like 12 times, and I could pick it up again and read it anytime.
So that's my number, whatever number that is.
I think that was
not
2.
Numbers. Let's go with 2. Sure.
Okay.
Next up from there, we have a recent game, that another campaign that I'm diving into. Another one behind my head, which is Xayah, Legend of a Drift System.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, Devin intensely wants to play that one. Yeah, Xayah is one where I played.
I think he's the one I've heard it from.
Probably.
Yeah, it was probably him talking about it.
I just assumed it was Devin. He won't stop. He's like, every time he comes in, he's like, "Can we play Xayah now? Can we play Xayah now?" Xayah is a game I played when it first came out. Like in 2014, I think it came out. I probably got it late 2014, early 2015. I played it. I really liked it, and eventually left my collection because it just didn't get tabled. It was a longer game, and it can drag. It's amazing when it's working well. Sometimes longer games can drag a bit with it. It can feel like it runs a little half hour too long. And so eventually it left and it wasn't getting tabled. And I got it back this past year because I heard the expansions make it better. And
so I got the expansion. Yeah, I see it.
It's all bundled together. Yeah. But then in addition to that, there's also a solo play. There's also a solo campaign. So they added a solo campaign to the expansions.
Have you played that yet?
I have not. But that's the thing I hope to dive into extensively. Having replayed it since I got it back, I remember all the things I loved about it and the reason it left. I remember why it left. It is a game. Not this too long inherently, but sometimes a game of Xayah can last 3 hours when it feels like it should have lasted 2. I don't mind 3-hour games if it feels like a 3-hour game. Xayah can wind up, especially if people are pushing their luck a little too much, it can wind up mid-game. It's space exploration, it's a sandbox game, you're trying to get points from a million different things, but mid-game, because of the way the luck works in the game, you can just kind of have your missions falling apart. You start your mission, then you die and start again, So it can have a mid-game lull that forces the game to last 30 to 45 minutes more than it should.
Yeah.
And that's why eventually I just stopped playing it, and eventually from there it left my collection. Yeah. I'm still planning on playing it. I think I'm going to be a little more strategic when I play and a little less pushing my luck. But for me, the main compelling aspect is I want to play it solo. I want to see how it goes.
What's so hard in games like that when it's like, okay, I'm going to try it a little different this time, is when they are like 3-hour games. Yeah. Because it's like, that's 3 hours to try it differently and to try it again. And it's like, that's a big commitment. It's
a long game. It's a big commitment. It's not for the faint of heart, but for me, the main compelling thing is I want to see what the solo campaign does. I've heard good things, and I just like... Xayah gives me the best sandbox experience I've ever played. It's just in terms of what it does, it makes me feel open and free and satisfying, and I want to play more.
I think the only sandbox game that we played was Bane West.
Oh, that's a good game, too.
I really like that one.
Now, I'm going to interrupt your list because I see over there Treasure Island.
I need to play it.
Have you played it at all?
So, I read the rules for Treasure Island.
I got it on clearance at our game store there, end of the year sale, because it just seems so intriguing. The whole map with the compasses and stuff and drawing on the board and doing that.
Treasure Island is a game where I read the rules when we were at the hospital and we had our last son, who's 2.5 now, basically. And so that's when I read the rules for Treasure Island, which will tell you how long I've had it. I have not played it. But I remember I always bring things to the hospital. That time we brought Codenames Duet. My wife and I played that a lot. We brought Crusaders from TMG. We played that a lot. We bought other games. I don't remember all of them. I don't remember all the rules I've read, but I remember I brought the rules.
You have so much time just to sit there for a little bit with no other kids around.
I've been games and I've been rulebooks.
So smart.
Every time we've had a baby, it's games and rulebooks. Games and rulebooks. I still remember, I think our second kid, because I only got into games after our first kid.
Okay.
Our second kid, as my wife's going into labor, I'm telling her the rules for Formula D to distract her. We never played Formula D, but I just brought the rule book into it, and I was like,
That's amazing.
She's like, I need to be distracted, and so I was like, okay, great. So basically, you're gonna be rolling your dice. You're gonna be rolling your dice, and then from there, you can use your dice for different gear shifts. And I'm literally trying to teach her.
I've seen her when she was sitting here. She just kind of go glaze over, like, great.
She's like, I'm out. We're good. No, it's
awesome.
I've done that for all of our kids. I've taught her a game as she's going through labor, just to distract her. She has something to focus on. But in any case, Treasure Island is one of the games I learned last time, along with Godfather, the Corleone's Empire, whatever it is. Both of those have not played yet. So
and I've heard they're both great.
Yeah.
So we have Treasure Island. We don't have Godfather.
Yeah.
Okay, number 4.
Number 4 or whatever.
Whatever.
I'm just gonna go with whatever.
I don't know.
Because I threw 3 in, so it feels like
3
7.
was first. So yeah.
Number 4 is going to be one of my favorite games that whenever I play it, I love it. Cthulhu Death May Die, which is right over here behind your head. Cthulhu Death May Die, that one.
Oh no, I can't grab that.
Never played
It's
it.
tricky. You can probably.
Do you have the big mini for it?
Oh no, I don't have the big mini.
Oh, look at all the other Cthulhu.
Oh yeah, it's all there. It's all there.
But it just keeps going back.
It's just Cthulhu all the way down. Cthulhu Death May Die.
Oh my gosh.
It's so good.
Oh my gosh, it's so heavy.
Yeah.
Look at all the minis.
That's only some of it. There's so much stuff for this game. I love this game. I adore this game. Like, every time I play this game, I'm like, I should be playing it more. And I want to play it more. Basically, when I first got this game...
It's it looks like, just because, again, I judge a book by its cover, I judge a game, and I'm like, ooh, that looks scary.
Play the game. Do play the game on this one. There's demand
scary.
for this game.
Bring it with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to come.
I'll bring it. I'll play it. I love this game to death. It is, like, I know it's seeing a major bump up in my top 100. I do it next year, because every time I play it, it's a blast. All the content's sorted weirdly, so you may not get all the stuff. There's no minis in here. None of the minis are here.
No.
These are all the scenario packs.
Oh my gosh, look at
Each of these is a scenario pack.
Look at that. Oh
Yeah,
boy, I'm
it's all
breaking
good. It's
stuff.
all good. But these are all the scenario packs over here. They all have individual scenarios. Each one's a little story. When I first got this game, my wife and I played it extensively. We went through the first full season, the second full season, and then we didn't play any of the expansion content. There were 3 more episodes from the Kickstarter content. We didn't play those. We just kind of stopped at one point, and we went to go back to it. And then we started playing through it again a while ago, and then we stopped after that. And then I played this with other people too, not just my wife.
There was no
I
box
love
part.
It. Yeah, I mean, it probably has holes in it, I don't know. But it's
What's the
so
playtime
good.
on a scenario?
So that's one of the downsides is, especially if you have all the content, it can take 20 minutes plus to set up. Like, it possibly 20 minutes. Here, I got it.
You got it.
20 minutes plus to set up. And then I find that the playtime of the scenario ranges from 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Okay, so not terrible.
Not terrible.
that's not bad.
I like playing multiple scenarios at once because the setup time goes down if you have all the tiles out and everything.
Yeah.
Like, I can set up from one scenario to the next in like 10 minutes. But starting for the first time is 20 minutes plus 10 minutes teardown, which means you could be looking at, if you're playing a single scenario and the scenario goes shorter, you could be looking at 30 minutes of setup and teardown for a 45-minute playtime.
See,
That's not great.
I don't mind setup and tear down. There's something very
Calming, zen.
about setting it up and putting it away. It's like something that, because I still, even though I've been on camera, I mean, I'm always on camera, it's still
This
an
isn't on.
intimidating...
This isn't on. This is just us
It's not,
talking.
oh, okay. It's just a talking. It's intimidating to me when we do it. It just is, because I'm usually behind the camera.
Yeah.
So doing the setup beforehand and then before I play, it kind of gets me in that moment, and then doing the tear down of it is kind of like that wind up, and it really helps me. So I don't mind if it takes forever to set it up. It's just my time with the game before we play it.
Nice. My next one's going to be one that I don't know anything about at all.
Oh.
In the slightest. Maybe you can help me. What do you know about Brew?
Our boys have a tutorial
yes.
of it. It is, if you like cutthroat games.
It is a cute cutthroat game.
It is. We played that on Tabletop Simulator.
Yeah, we played with
when it was in the
Pandasaurus when they were
like
pre-released.
and we played it and we were like, oh my gosh, it looks so cute. We played it, and then Daniel and I,
Summer.
we were in the middle of it, and we were like, oh, this is cutthroat.
It is a cutthroat
Did you
game.
hear me talk about Parks? My favorite part about
Yeah.
Parks.
That's,
You'll
you'll
like
really
that.
enjoy that one.
You're gonna like
Okay,
that.
cool. So Brew is a recent acquisition for me that I got this one. The art looked adorable. It first came out from Pandasaurus. Pandasaurus puts a lot of solid stuff.
Yeah.
I pick up some of it, some I don't. Sometimes it's just interest based, this waxing and waning, but this one caught my eye after it first came out. When it first came out, I was like, whatever, and then it came out after, and I was like,
Yeah,
it looks
solid.
intriguing. So I just pulled this out yesterday. I wanted to play it yesterday. I wanted to table this yesterday. We ended
If you
up...
had time, I know you're really busy today. I was gonna say, if you had time, we play it, but
I'm not averse to it.
I know where you can find a tutorial for it.
We'll see.
yeah, the boys have a
because-
tutorial.
Yeah, I like this. I like the look of it.
It's a solid game.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, this is on my list.
We need to add that to our list. Can we add that to our list?
It's one of those that doesn't feel like you're being cutthroat until you realize you're being really cutthroat.
Okay, and I'll play that with Jared. He's my 12-year-old, and I'll be like, dude, you're being mean. He's like, that's the game, Mom.
That's the game. If you don't like it, go home.
No, if you like, because you like parks so much, and you like Pandasaurus, I think, have you seen their Skull Canyon game that just came out?
The skiing one?
Yeah.
So the skiing one didn't intrigue me. I saw it at Gamma, and I saw how it plays, and I got the sense...
Did Danny show
She showed the overview.
Yeah.
I got the sense that it was a kind of a combination between Ticket to Ride and parks.
Yep,
right, that's
exactly.
What,
And I don't know why, but to me I was like, that feels like you just took parks and made it less parks, and so that just didn't pull me in off the bat.
If you are so intrigued with that part of parks where you're blocking people, and that's what you like about it, then I don't think it has enough of that.
Yeah.
But you have that Yeti monster,
Yeah.
and you can block people, and it can be like...
I'm sure I'll try it sometime.
It's a little bit more cutthroat in that aspect of the Ticket to Ride area.
Generally, my process with a lot of games, which is probably what happened with Brew for me as well, is when a game first comes out, if I'm immediately compelled by it, great. If I'm not, I try to ignore it. Unless like, I publish them in review copies of the story, because then I'm reviewing it. But like,
I really respect that a lot.
Yeah, I just try to ignore it, because there's so much stuff. And so if a game doesn't pull me in, I kind of ignore it.
The hotness is so much.
But then, if the game is still being talked about a year later... If people are still, in some ways, if it's part of the conversation, if it starts still showing up in groups and Board and Geek, if the ratings are rising, then I'm like, oh, Skull Canyon, I passed you over, time to take a look. Yeah, so that's why I am with that one.
We didn't like Skull Canyon as much as a 2-player.
Yeah.
We liked it at a 3, and we played it with Devin and Amber. Yeah. And we liked it at a 4-player.
It's much better at 3 and 4 than it is at 2.
Cool.
Good Amber liked it.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. We will see.
Although you may like it at 2, because why I didn't like it at 2 is that parks aspect. You have one less space than player count.
So you really block
can
people.
Only block people. Like, you have to block people from the spots where 3 and 4 allowed you to be a little more strategic with that. More than one person could go to a space. And it felt...
Cool.
Yeah.
My next one...
You're poking the table.
My next one is one we talked about briefly, which is Everdell.
Yeah.
Never played
We've not played that one.
Everdell is...
What intrigues you about it?
So, I first played Everdell. First of all, very summery theme, inherently comes to mind. But Everdell is a game that I played it because people loved it. And I didn't get to play it right away. I tried to avoid things right away. But then I played it, and I saw why people liked it, but I wasn't immediately drawn into it. It's a game of worker placement, of cards, lots of cards you have, and the cards are all these various critters and these houses. You have these houses, you're grabbing these houses, and once you have the right house, you can put the critter in for free, which is very important because resources are tight in the whole game. But then it's worker placement. You have your little critters, you put down a worker, you get some berries, you get some rocks, you use those things to build some stuff, you play some cards, and then you go into the next season, and you get your workers back. You have 4 rounds of play, 4 seasons, and you get your workers back each time. So your workers only being, but then you add workers as you go. So you start with 2, then you go to 3, then 4 workers. Fine. But there's not a lot of worker placement. And the engine you're building feels very tight. And the first game I played of Everdell, I was like, this doesn't feel fun, it feels restrictive. You have a maximum card
Almost
tableau.
Like you need one more round?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have a card tableau of 15 cards you can build. That's all you can build. You cannot build more than 15 unless you get extra cards that let you do it, whatever.
Can you get rid of cards?
It's generally not. It's some exceptions. Some ways you can get rid of cards. There are ways to do it, but it's not the standard. And so what you're doing is you're trying to build that, but then you start the game and you're like, 15 cards? We just done with round 1 and I have 1 card. Congratulations. So I don't know how I'm going to get 15. And then you get to the end of the game and you're like, well, I could have built like 19, 20 cards, and I built the cheaper ones because I was like trying to get something done, and you played it all wrong. And my first play was so tight, and my appearance of what the game was, and my perception of the experience was so off that I was like, this is good, but like I don't need it.
Right.
And I got rid of it. And then as we talked about it, I found myself thinking about it. And thinking about it.
When you think about a game, and after you played it, even like weeks later, you're like, okay, I really need to table that again. So.
And I got it back. And I
have
love it.
Have you played it since? Okay, so you have
played it a whole bunch since. I love the game. I found that knowing what to expect when I walk in changes the way I approach the puzzle. It's a tight resource puzzle. It's not like a gateway game. It's tight. Every resource counts.
I've never heard anyone say it's a welcoming game or a gateway game. It's
not a welcoming game. You want a welcoming game, get Wingspan. It's the same
Devin
genre.
loves it as well, and he's told me about it. He's like, you really need to play it. He also says he would not play it without the expansions.
So I've heard that from people. I played with one of the expansions because I covered the Kickstarter. He doesn't want
one of them. I think it's the Bell.
There's Belfair. There's,
I think that's the one that he didn't feel like it added enough.
So I played with one of the expansions because I covered their subsequent Kickstarter, one that's not out yet. I have all the other expansions. I haven't played with them. I've heard good things about the expansions, but I keep introducing the game to new people, and so I keep introducing a base game. I think you do need expansions to mix it up.
If you have a base game that is solid,
I
think expansions are needed.
For
like
this game, I think you do.
Really?
I mean, I've played the base game a lot,
repetitive?
and I love it. I've never played Revadel without enjoying it. Well, that's not true. The first game, since then. But I will say that I recognize why people think that they want the expansions. The base game falls into certain patterns very quickly. While I've still enjoyed the game despite those patterns, I would definitely want expansions in the mix.
Okay.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, the tree irritates me.
Oh, why?
Because it's so big, and you don't want to take it, like, tear it down.
It takes 2 seconds.
So you do tear it down.
I do.
See, everyone I played with, like, no, you need to leave it set up. Put it on top of your shelf. And I'm like,
why?
Why would I don't want to do that.
I hate playing that space.
Okay, so you do take it down every time.
3 seconds. That's the amount of stuff I do for some games.
Okay, then that's what solved that for me. Okay.
Yeah. Although you do possibly want the wooden tree. Because the cardboard tree...
Can you take that one down?
You could both. The cardboard tree tears them.
Is that Etsy shop you get that?
No, they had it as a thing you could buy for yourself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You also don't need the tree at all, by the way. At all. In the slightest. You can just play without the tree.
It's just thematic.
Yeah. My number, whatever number we're up to now, is Massive Darkness. And this is not massive. This is the tiny little box. Massive Darkness is currently taking up 2 giant shelves upstairs before I get to unboxing.
I thought it was much bigger than that.
No, I just grabbed this for the sake of having something. Massive Darkness
it's unboxed.
What? This?
It's a box. So is that the part of the game that you're wanting to play?
This is a single part of the game. This is a single expansion. Massive Darkness is a giant dungeon crawl from Command Games. This is Massive Darkness 2 specifically. In fact, behind you on...
We're looking at the little minis, so that's in this one.
There's no, behind Alice right there, this Massive Darkness, the original one. Like right down lower.
Right here?
Yep.
Oh, I'm not going to grab that.
That's all good, it's all good. But I
have my finger in the calyx.
I have all the expansions from I have the full all-in from the newest Kickstarter upstairs. It just arrived. I'll be unboxing it shortly and getting into it. I want to spend a lot of time with this game over the next few weeks. I want to, well, next few weeks might be ambitious, over the next few months.
It's a dungeon crawler?
It's a dungeon crawler.
Okay.
It's a dungeon crawler with powers and abilities, and it's asymmetric in the sense that every character has their own minigame. So, like, the Rangers, like, you know, has push your luck. You're pulling things from a bag, hoping to land that perfect shot. You have a character who has deck building as their minigame. You have a character that has, I don't even know all the minigames. You have a Necromancer, you have, like, everyone has a different mechanical minigame in terms of the way they operate. So all of them are bringing a flavor to the table. It's not just you have your abilities and your abilities plus 2 this. No, you have a different way of playing the game as far as we operate together in this dungeon trying to take things down.
That sounds really interesting.
I like the original Massive Darkness a lot, but I had complaints around it, and when they announced Massive Darkness 2, the things they seem to be doing with the game seem to be addressing all the issues I had with the game that I already liked and making it better.
Okay.
I've heard incredibly good things from people who play this game. People who have played it really liked it, and I am very, very excited to actually unbox it for the first part, dive into it, play the game. I love Zombicide. I love Cthulhu Death May Die. I love a lot of Command's Dungeon Crawler experiences. I'm hoping this one holds up because I have a whole lot of it upstairs, but we'll see.
We tried to play Zombicide at... We were staying with Cameron at the Great Plains Game Festival, and all of his game collection is the Great Plains Game Collection.
So they were all gone at the festival.
So he had Zombicide at home, and there was not a complete set of Zombicide, which is why they don't take it to the festival anymore, because they always got mixed up. So, like, we couldn't find, there were map tiles missing from every single one.
45 minutes, and we were setting it
up. I was like, trying to see, is there a way I could set up
real.
any scenario that I have the pieces for, and there just wasn't. So
what turns me off in dungeon crawlers is the time to set up and the time to commit, and then it's like, okay, I need to take a break, so you need to remember where we're at and where we've got that type of thing, and which is why we are stuck and haven't played Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion.
So Cthulhu Death May Die and Zombicide and Massive Darkness, they're all single shots. You can play them all as single shots. You could, I mean, Cthulhu Death May Die has episodes.
Single campaign.
Correct. You have episodes of Cthulhu Death May Die, but there's nothing to remember. You just grab an episode and play.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Yeah, I find campaign games they demand more of you. Yeah. And that's fine if it's worth it. And sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't.
Well, and they might be worth it, but then, like, coming back to it is what's really difficult. That's part of it's worth it.
A big thing I've learned, I need to put a video on this at some point, but a big thing I've learned from me is I start taking voice notes after every campaign game.
That's what's nice about our 135s, is that it's like as soon as we're done with that play, we turn on the camera and we just spit out our thoughts. And then we've also we've started doing afterthoughts of just like getting out what we thought about the game right after we play, because it's just right there and it's still on the table.
I do the voice notes while it's there, and I'm like, okay, we just finished the 3rd episode of Gloomhaven. I just upgraded my card to this card. I have the card stored here, these cards stored there. We're about to take on the next boss level.
That type of thing. That kind of thing. It's like, oh.
And then sometimes I play the game 2 days later and I don't reference the voice note ever. Sometimes I pull the game out 2 months later and I'm like, okay, what happened? Where did we leave off? And that little voice note is a reminder.
So the question is, do you categorize your voice notes? Because if you're still taking voice notes, you have to go back through 2 months of voice notes.
I typed the word Gloomhaven episode 2, and then I take the voice note. No. So I have it searchable.
That'd be great in concept, but then I would lose the voice note.
It's all searchable. So Gloomhaven, what's the most recent Gloomhaven voice note? Boom, there we go. Pick it up.
Okay, there you go.
I've only just started doing it. It's worked well for me so far, but I need more time with it.
I need to take note and remember to do
Next
that.
up, where are my phone's refusing to recognize my fingerprint today. So we'll see. We have, I did that one, did that one. I think we have 2 left.
Okay.
So, 2 left. So next up is Tainted Grail, another campaign game. Tainted
Goodness,
Grail.
Your list is very different from our list.
Your summer is longer than our summer.
So I've recently been diving into the campaign games a lot because I've been streaming on Twitch a lot. So I've been slowly moving a lot of these campaign games. I'm moving into Twitch in different ways, like Mechs of Minions.
Right.
Streaming tabletop on Twitch or
I have
digital
I have all these things. I have my pedal that I told you about earlier.
Yeah.
I have all these tools to start doing things, and I've started playing various campaign games. And I mean, summer's gonna be summer. We'll see when I get to each one. But like Tainted Grail, I started the first mission. Hope to get into that one. Some of these might be more ambitious than others. We'll see. But Tainted Grail is one that I just finally started playing it. And I just played the first training scenario. It's a large epic narrative campaign from Awakened Realms, and it has a lot of fun little card chaining. Quackle loves it. Jesse loves it. I only just started diving into it. I think I'm curious where it'll go. It might be like 5 games in. I say it's not for me. It might be 50 games in, and I love it. I don't know what it is. It's been somewhat compared to Seventh Continent in the exploration of the laying out of cards and all that, but I want to spend time with it because I've had it in my collection for 2.5. No, that's not long. That seems too long. I've had my collection for roughly a year plus. I want to say 12 months. No, 14 months-ish or something like that. I'm trying to remember when I unboxed it. But I unboxed it 14 months ago, never played it, and I'm getting other big boxes. I just did a video on my channel, Fooled by the FOMO, where it's like a whole bunch of and I'm pretty sure I put Tainted Grail in there. I could be wrong, but like there's all the games I haven't actually played yet, and I would like to play the games I haven't played yet.
It's so intimidating. That's something that's so hard about having a game collection. We can talk about this later when we do our gaming with kids, but we have a 4-person game collection.
Yeah.
And it's like, we have these games that just sit on our shelf and sit there. And it's like, it's been a year and it didn't come off the shelf. It's been another year and it's not come off the shelf. It's like, okay, do I need to get that to someone who will play it?
Yeah.
Or do we keep it because it means that much to us? And it's just so hard.
So the problem I always have is that everything I own is something I wanted to really play badly at one point in time. And the problem is one point in time sometimes changes. I really wanted to play this game that plays best with 4 players in roughly 90 minutes a year and a half ago. But now I have 4 other games that play best with 4 players in roughly 90 minutes that I want to play more. So I still want to play you, but like it's gone down. And the problem is new games are always coming in. So at a certain point, I have to either just like
call it or
it's like what is the question, like something or get off the fence, whatever it is. Like it's so like you need to, if I'm not going to play you, I'm not going to play you, and that's fine, and it's time to move on. But like sometimes I just want to commit to playing a game. Like I got you for a reason. Why? What is the journey here? What's the exploration?
Yep. And is it moving on? Like, is it? Am I going to continue with that?
Yep.
There's my thought just left. Never mind. We're not going to go there.
Cool.
Your last one.
Last one.
It was there and then it left.
Last one is a shorter one. Don't know if you know anything about it.
We haven't played it yet.
Nope.
It came out last summer, and I really, really wanted to play it. I saw it at Target, and
It looks adorable. So I don't know anything about this. I know nothing about it. Very little. Very little.
I've heard it's good.
Yeah, I've heard it's good. It's from Phil Locker Harding, who's amazing. He made Baron Park, one of my favorite games. And the whole thing looks incredibly adorable. It looks like it has a little bit of a Parks aspect of walking down like a path. Don't know much about it. Honestly, you said summer games, and I was like, I have a game that's literally called Summer Camp, and I want to play this.
Can't not include it.
I literally, but I had to go upstairs to get this for context. This was upstairs because I was pulling out the rules yesterday to learn it.
Oh, okay.
That's why, like, I want to play this. It's not just purely a summer thing. This and Brew were both upstairs yesterday, ready to have the rules read. And the game has modules, so like, you have these different module packs you add in. So like you want the arts and crafts modules, the cooking module, the hiking module. There's all these like summer camp activities you're throwing in as these modules you play together. I don't know anything about it, but it looks charming. It plays in like, how long to play.
I've heard nothing but great stuff about it.
Where's the timer? 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
An easy game to table. Again, I like the mix. I like having the 15-minute
It
games.
looks like a relatively easy game to set out. It's just cards.
Yeah.
It looks compelling.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I want you to show you this, because look at these little packs. There you go. There you go.
You see? Little packs.
Now don't you want to play it more?
Yeah, you can get this at Target right now.
Yeah, just these little packs. I don't know what's in these. I don't know what's going on, but they have a little outdoors pack.
Oh, there's merit badges.
We're opening your game for you.
It's fine. See, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know anything about this, but like if you have little boxes in your game.
We're gonna buy this game.
Yeah, so I want to play this game. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's short, it's compelling. Some of these things are giant commitments of, you know, hours and hours of gameplay,
and
unless
like
I don't
we
like
said,
it.
it seems like your summer is longer than our summer.
I'm going to find the time I can to play
if you
these
haven't
games.
played this by the time you come down, because I'm expecting you to be coming down.
I'll bring it.
Bring it, and we'll play it.
Absolutely. 2 to 4 players. I'll bring this. I'll bring in Brew. Well, Brew may have played now.
No, we have Brew.
We
have Brew, so don't worry. We don't have. Well, we might have summer camp at that point, because now I'm really intrigued.
I'll let you know. I would love to play summer camp for the next week, and next week's gonna be tough. The next month's gonna be tough. I would love to play these games at some point in the theoretical future.
He's also going to Origins, so as soon as like tomorrow is Origins, and so he's got other business stuff. He's got it because then he also has holiday. Or no, you're not holiday. You're just offline this weekend.
Then I might be visiting Arkansas as well. Might be visiting
next week.
No, June 17th. We're looking at right now. I'm checking the dates.
Yeah.
We're looking at June 17th. I think we're looking at.
So it's so soon.
It's very soon.
Yeah.
Yay!
I didn't realize we have 2 windows, so that's 1 window. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
We'll see.
I think Devin's going to be up here with Jesse. You should just offer to have him drive back with you because he loves long car rides.
I'll check with him.
He doesn't.
It's okay. We have 4 kids in the car with us. He's not the worst thing.
He loves that.
He's just a kid.
He'll have a blast with that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for. I'm intrigued, and I think I may need to get our Gloomhaven going
So,
again.
Gloomhaven is good. It's just tough. Try it online. It really is a different story.
Well, I like the tactile and the
So
again,
here's what I can tell you. I am a hardcore tactile person. There are no other games I can think of offhand where I prefer it online. Even games like Through the Ages, which the app makes everything so much easier.
But what about Jaws? What about Jaws of the Lion? Still online?
So I haven't played Jaws of the Lion online, but I meaning
you feel like it's
Jaws of the Lion is accessible enough that I do like the tactile aspect. Yeah. But I think I still prefer it online.
So
Gloomhaven is very, very well done.
So Gloomhaven excluded because you mentioned a ton of campaigns. What is what campaign would you recommend the most for people like us who we had Scout and So Clover, and you had Cthulhu, and
you want a campaign?
Yeah, what's a good just.
If we were going to pick one,
we dislike very few games, so give us a campaign to attempt. And we'll just take it from your shelf.
Exactly. So there are different options. Have you played Legacy games yet? Have you played Pandemic Legacy?
We haven't. No, we played Machikoro Legacy.
No. Did you like it?
Yes.
We loved it. It was a great family.
10 games?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a great family.
Pandemic Legacy is one of my go-to for Legacy games.
Which
we have the season 3.
Pandemic. Yeah.
We
have 0.
Oh, yeah,
we have 0.
So I personally would recommend 1.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
But they're all good in different ways. But I think 3 is a little bit more abstracted. I think Pandemic Legacy Season 1 is a great game for 2, 3, or 4 players. I think it works to all player counts. If you're playing with 2 players, you can control 2 characters each. I do prefer that. Yep. But it works really well. Phenomenal game. I've played through it twice. Because the whole thing twice.
Question. Now, most games like that, it's like you're playing the full game as one of the games.
Yep.
And then, so it's like, okay, timeline. So it takes about an hour to play Pandemic, right?
Roughly. Yeah.
So how many campaigns are in? Or how many?
It's 12 to 24. Depends how often you win. You're probably looking at around 18 or so, practically speaking.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, I'm just like, wow, it's just
if you
such
want,
a time commitment.
If you want less of a commitment, something that's very engaging, I can literally give you my copy of The Adventures of Robin Hood.
No, I think we have that one. So you recommend doing that one?
I played through with my daughter.
It's actually on our game table right now.
It's lighter than I would personally pick, but I enjoyed going through it. Okay. I enjoyed the process.
You mentioned that in one of your videos recently.
I liked it. I had fun with it. I still have it because there's an expansion coming at some point.
Is there any replayability to it, or is it once you've done it?
There is replayability, but less so.
Because you know what's on the board.
I love the meeples.
Yeah.
The meeples are it's like you can walk, you can run, and then you can sprint or something like that. And Peyton's making a game right now that has that same, so he's using those meeples in his prototype.
Yeah, it works well. No, it's a really solid campaign game. It is lighter than what I look for personally, but I still played like 9 games of it, or 7 games of it.
I think we should do that as a family this summer. I really do. It's sitting on it's not open, but it's sitting on our game table right now.
Yeah,
so we need to do that one.
Wiki. But also Mechs vs. Minions. I mean, honestly, Mechs vs. Minions is a really, really fun game. It escalates nicely with you. It's very easy to dive into. The rules are they guide you into it, and if you like any form of programming, it's just a chaotic mess. It's a lot of fun.
I like that. Let's just grab it. When we drove the van.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we have room.
That's fair.
We'll just have to go get it back from us when you come visit.
It's such a good game.
We'll hold it
Thank you so much for picking through and thinking of some games. And I've got a lot on my list that we need to add to it.
Be sure to go check out our list on Alex's channel. Subscribe to Alex if you haven't. There's a much better chance that you are not subscribed to Alex.
Yeah, the other way around. But yeah, check out his channel. I love keeping up with his videos. He puts out at least one a day now.
I'm at 3 a weekend now.
Oh.
3 a day. 3 a day.
Three a
day now.
Between Patreon, between my main channel, between Quack and Co, another channel we have, I'm at like 2.7 videos a day on average.
You are, but I love it. I love the way you process. You talk really fast, but it lets me. I usually. I tell Devin this. There's some videos that I just put on and play while I'm like folding laundry and stuff, and so I just listen to all of your thought process and your news and your to back or not to back and all that stuff. It's very eye opening, and I lean on you to keep me in the know more than you'd realize.
Responsibilities.
Yeah,
do what I can.
So check him out if you haven't. But until next time.
Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah,
This is fun. This is a blast.
We'll see you guys later. Bye.